This Herefish Hook success story is all about a client that has achieved a 4x survey completion rate increase for their satisfaction surveys compared to what they were doing previously. So before Herefish, through the tool that they were doing satisfaction surveying with, they achieved an 8 to 10% completion rate. After using Herefish, they're achieving 35 to 40% completion rates. So that is obviously a big change, a lot of value, a lot of impact there. And there's even ways that they could increase things more. So if you want a similar result, or if you want to boost your completion rates, here are kind of 3 key ways to do it. You want to set the expectation prior to asking. If the person knows that it's coming and you set that expectation ahead of time, you're going to have a better success rate of getting it completed. The second one is huge. You want to try more than once to get feedback. Now, of course, if someone does give you the feedback, you don't want to follow up and ask for it again. But for somebody that doesn't complete it the first time you ask, you want to have multi-attempts built in so that you can try to get it more than once. And then lastly, explaining why you want the information, what you're going to utilize it for. So for a satisfaction survey, very important. There's a lot of good reasons to want that information, and it can help someone complete it if they know why and for what purpose you're going to utilize it for. Now I'm going to walk through a tutorial of how to make those things happen directly in Herefish. Here is how you can achieve these increased completion results yourself. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is just how you can create a follow-up asking more than once for a survey. So we'd build it as a standard automation. We'd hit save. Now in the automation itself, we'd send the survey, and this is where it gets a bit interesting. I'm not going to put the survey in, but I'm just going to build kind of the skeleton of the structure here, and then we'll come back and show exactly what we're doing. So we're just going to put 3 attempts on this for kind of ease of use sake, and we'll space them out a little bit randomly. So they're a little bit different. But of course, you can put as many attempts in here that you want. So we'll do that for the time being. So our list, we'll just do, again, we'll name it the same thing. Your list would be whomever is in your criteria, whatever your criteria is for sending the survey to begin with. But then you're also going to have the has not taken survey. Right, then you'd pick, let's just say we're a candidate NPS example. So we'd find all the people that haven't answered any questions. And you can even put a date constraint on there. But by doing it this way, so again, we'll just kind of show. So we'd have whatever our criteria would be for the list itself. Let's say it's, candidates you just interviewed, candidates you placed, etc. So you'd put that there. But then you'd also add this condition with an and that they haven't taken the survey before. So you send the survey out, then a week later, a second attempt would go out, and then 8 days later, a third attempt would go. Now, the beauty of this is, if they take the survey, they're not going to match this criteria anymore. And then in our automation settings, we're removing them from the automation. So if someone takes the survey after you send it to them the first time, they'll get pulled out of the automation. They won't get any of the further attempts, but you have these built-in automatic follow-ups and reminders if they don't complete the survey. So that alone can boost survey completion results by up to 30, 40%, depending on how many times you want to follow up. The things to avoid here is pestering someone too frequently. So I would not recommend, unless it's an urgent survey, for example, shrinking this to like a day or a matter of hours. You don't want to bug people. You don't want to pester them. If you choose to do that, your unsubscribe rates can go up, which can have a variety of bad effects. So it's safe to kind of play it a little bit of time in between if the feedback isn't urgent, but you'd still like to have it. Now, another really good tip to be able to get the survey completion rates higher is to, in the content itself, explain why you want the information. So if you're using a satisfaction survey, let's say, an NPS score, your first attempt, you can just ask for it, just want to see how things go. In your second attempt, you could explain what you use that information for, right? To improve, to get better, get feedback on individual employees, like those types of things. And so you can try to attack it from different angles. And by doing that with further attempts, you'll also see a greater increase in your completion percentages. And then the last way to really make this happen, increase your completion percentages, is, well, there's many ways, but the last one I'll recommend here in our time is to set the expectation prior to asking for the feedback. So if you're talking with a placed candidate, you want to set that expectation that you're going to ask for their feedback in the submission phase, even in the candidate screening phase. Right? The more you can set that expectation and reinforce it, by the time you do the ask in the appropriate time, they're going to know it's coming, know what to expect, and then therefore they'll keep an eye out for it, and they'll have a much higher percentage chance of completing it. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos. Leave a like or a comment, and be sure to check out these other videos over here. Until next time, happy automating.